Melissa Capera. So they are now the new owners of the Lions.
That's right. We're getting ready for partner forward. We have Eric Cardona on the left-hand side of your screen for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. That's Chris Chaffee on the right-hand side of your screen for the Tampa Bay Brigade. Choose a color, different shades of blue, but they are getting down to the nitty-gritty. They were competing for that championship spot last season. Of course, Janine Nicole for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Congratulations, Taylor. You just got engaged today. That was a big deal here in our household. Jocelyn Williams, very strong Olympic weightlifter for the Tampa Bay Brigade. On the right-hand side of your screen, they switched out for Kyle Massey, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions switched out for Julio Delgado. A lot of switches happening. They both utilize the same strategy here, which a lot of newer teams don't do, but of course we know these are not newer teams. These are veteran stacked teams. Now, this is going to be really a fight to the finish, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions have a very healthy lead here ahead of the Brigade.
But this format right here is very sneaky because even though they have a lead, the pistol thrusters pose a little sense of complication where it allows for a lot of, or requires a lot of stability and control. So here, even though you want to go fast, you have to be balanced and show control here.
Definitely. There's a lot that could go wrong with that movement, so we're definitely keeping an eye out, and the referees have their head referee looking over the counting refs as well, so that's very important. Now, we did say at the championship last year where the Fort Lauderdale Lions made it to but did not win, they got to do this match format already. There's a few changes to the match formats every year, but they've already seen this, they've already done it, and they're the freshest in its mind for them.
Exactly. The only other team that had the opportunity to do this format is the Sharks, which you'll see them do it later. So the Lions have a little bit of an advantage because they've been able to play around with the strategy, play around with who they put in certain situations. They have a few newer rookies on there, but they got the majority of their vets back, including some old familiar faces that we'll talk about later.
Absolutely. Speaking of those familiar faces, we have Megan Medeiros for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, an absolute powerhouse of an athlete. She could clear ladders. She could do high-level gymnastic skills that a lot of women can't complete, and it's absolutely insane. Marcos Medina from the Fort Lauderdale Lions as well. Jocelyn Williams over here for the Brigade, very clutch player and very good at what she does. And this is Angel Serrano on the Tampa Bay Brigade, by the way, which, forgive me if I'm wrong, he used to play for the Aces.
Yep, he was. He was one of my athletes, and it's kind of fun watching these two teams because a lot of between these two teams, my old Aces are all on the floor now.
That's right. They have Kyle Massey. They have all kinds of names that we're familiar with here. Megan Medeiros finishing off those last few reps. One remaining. And the Fort Lauderdale Lions are going to take this first partner forward. Just ahead of the Brigade.
So you can definitely tell there was a lot of jitters that was in there, a lot of nerves. The nerves got, this is the one race that you have to knock out the nerves and the jitters. So I think it's going to be a lot smoother after this point.
Definitely. I expect a lot of give and take from both of these teams. And Jocelyn Williams, she did a lot of work in that partner forward as well. And I'm sure she's going to be coming out for the mirror, which... why don't we go ahead and give you guys a little taste of the roster so you could put a face to the names that we're talking about.
in the burpee ringer with the two queens of the burpee in the ringer point today.
Oh yeah, I definitely had that one on my schedule circled just because Janine Nicole, every season that she comes back, she is an absolute powerhouse, and congratulations, by the way.
Thank you, thank you.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the Tampa Bay Brigade roster.
I am going to be looking at, where's my guy? I always circle him, Dalton Hero. I always call him Dalton Hero because he always just comes up right when the Brigade needs him. So he's going to be all over the grid. He's such a fast and shifty athlete. He's getting stronger.
Absolutely. He's definitely one to watch out for. He's always making the all-star teams and always gets his flowers just because he's very, very good at what he does, especially when it comes to the ropes.
And then gonna also see my guy Angel over here, Serrano. He is a very talented athlete. He's incredibly strong, can clear a lot of ladders, but he also has a lot of the body weight movements. He can do the backwards roll to support. He can do all the barbell work as well too. So I'm looking forward to see him all over the grid.
Of course, I've seen him compete in local CrossFit competitions, and he absolutely crushes every time. And it's so good to see him back on the grid.
And lastly, of course, my girl over here, Jess Crazeman, the heartbeat of the team. And I mentioned earlier that the burpee queens will be showing, flexing their chops today, but she is all about intensity and showing that her team is meant to be out here. So I'm looking for her to keep the energy high up for the Brigade.
Absolutely. Another coach, owner, athlete, powerhouse. There's nothing that we can say about Jess Crazeman to encapsulate just what she is to her team. So this is going to be a really exciting match. Let's go ahead and educate you on what you can expect on this next race, the Mirror.
Mirror, the second race of every match, always features a barbell element. A male and a female barbell are placed in the first quadrant. Upon the start of the race, both are picked up by the team in any fashion by the 3 men and 3 women allowed in the race at any given time. Once the barbell leaves the ground, it may not touch the ground again until all reps are complete. If it does, the entire team must return to the start line before continuing. A set number of reps must be completed by both genders in each quadrant before the team can move on. Non-lifting players will act as the human rack to support the barbells as the team moves from quadrant to quadrant and switches performing players in the process as needed. Substitutions may happen at any time. Time stops when all reps are complete and the last player crosses the finish line. This strength-focused race has the most players on the grid at the same time and requires effective planning and practice to be executed well through coordination amongst players. Remember, don't drop the barbell in the mirror race.
For the mirror, we have the hang, clean, and jerk mirror. The men's weight is going to be 185. The women's going to be 125. They have to perform 10 reps in each quadrant, taking the barbell from one end to the next.
That's right, Taylor. Let's go ahead and look at those game faces, and they're off. Taylor Sturgis, and we have a new face over here for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. We're looking at Caroline Moline. For the right side of your screen, that's Alex Hollings, and we're looking at Bella Carvalho.
Yes, so you're going to see this is going to be a very fast one where communication is very important, and you cannot move on to the next quadrant until both partners have completed all the reps. So you're only as good as your slowest athlete.
Definitely, and you really need to move as quickly as possible through the quadrants, but you can't leave your other gender behind, because if you do, it's going to be fault after fault after fault, and you can't drop the barbell because then you're going to have to go back to the start line and then come back to where you were. It's definitely a tough one, a lot of communication, a lot of transition time, and it's hard if you don't all live in the same place, which these folks do not for the most part on the Fort Lauderdale Lions. The Brigade a little bit more, they're able to have some local athletes work out like that, but it looks like they're just about rep for rep on both sides of the grid. This is one of the closer mirrors that we've seen today.
And this is literally going to come down to the last quadrant right here. But boys, they're both
going in.
You got you got Trish Davis and Ryan DeMatti on one end, but then you have Alex Hollins and Bella bookending it. So it's going to come down to who can run across that line of first.
This Fort Lauderdale Lions mirror looks really, really fast. Both hands are in the air for them. Hand just came in the air for the Tampa Bay Brigade. They have to drop it at the same time. Can they do it? And whoa! That is going to be a photo finish, Taylor.
I think the Lions barely got it. Whoa! So so fast. They came down and dropped the bar almost at the last time, but Trisha Davis reacted so much faster than Alex Collins, and that half a second was just enough for the Lions to come out with a win.
Absolutely. What a celebration from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. I really couldn't tell from my angle who won because they dropped it at the same time.
I was watching and I was looking at both Alex and Trish because they were so close to that third quadrant. I'm like, this is going to be a foot race between those two because the time stops are based off of the furthest athlete or the last athlete. They were so far away. But Trish just reacted a little bit faster than Alex, and it was just that amount that allowed them to win.
Absolutely. That was so exciting. But it looks like they're reviewing. I'm not sure if a flag is on the ground or called or if they're just reviewing for review's sake. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and go over this next race. It's going to be a ringer point. That's going to be specialist versus specialist, which we love to see. And we're going to have 3 of those today. Speaking of, you can go on UnitedGridLeague.com/vote, and you can vote for what ringer you want to see in the back half.
And we've been talking about this all day. I love this fan ringer point.
Yeah.
Oh man, coming from somebody who wasn't a fan of the ringer point, I am a fan of the fan ringer point.
Because you're on this side now.
Yes.
That's right. It's so fun to watch. Oh, there is a flag on the ground on the Fort Lauderdale Lions side. We're going to figure out what this review is, and we'll come right back to you with that information as soon as we have it.
Quadrant 3, we're not fully locked out. We were going to review that.
Let's go ahead and take it to Daniel so we can get the full scoop here. What's going on, Daniel?
Ref.
Here we go. What a way to start off the very start of this Grid League match. The Tampa Bay Brigade have thrown their challenge flag here. They're questioning the rep quality in Quadrant 3 for the male athlete of the Lions. So we're going to take a look at the footage. As soon as we get a result, we'll be back with you. Cassie?
Thanks for that, Daniel. Taylor, what do you make of this?
We're going to be here all day. We said it was going to be fireworks this whole entire time, and this is only race 2. So we already know that Jess is a very passionate athlete and coach, and so if she sees something, she has a really good eye. She's been doing this for a long time, so it's going to be interesting.
Well, this is a Fort Lauderdale Lions review.
Oh.
Yeah. So Jamie Gold may not have ownership, but she owns the spirit of the team.
But then the Lions take that one?
I think it was disputed. We're going to find out in a second. It looks like it's on this side, the review, the flag on the ground. So we'll find out in just a second for you. We don't want to keep you in suspended animation and speculate too much and get your brains all jumbled. So as soon as we get that information, we'll get it to you. Be right back.
Viewing the video, all of the reps were properly completed. They will lose the challenge. The Lions win the race.
Let's go ahead and take it to Daniel really quick. Daniel, what happened?
All right, the results are in for the challenge for the Brigade. They're going to lose this challenge. After looking at the footage, it showed that Marcos Medino in Quadrant 3 for the Lions, all his reps were quality reps, and he completed every rep that he was asked and assigned in that quadrant, leaving the victory of this race to the Lions. Cassie, Taylor, let's throw it back to you.
Thanks for that, Daniel. I did want clarification on who threw that flag. So it was from the Tampa Bay Brigade, and they do unfortunately lose that challenge flag. They only have one left.
And this is where strategy comes in. When it comes to the challenge, you have to be very, very specific in what your challenge is. So you can throw the flag, but the refs are only going to review what you're specifically looking at. So if there was something else that should have been challenged, they may have missed an opportunity there, but you have only 30 seconds to tell the refs what it is that you want to challenge.
That's right. We're getting ready to watch this ringer point race, which is specialist versus specialist. In this case, it's going to be body weight. We have bar-facing burpees. We have your new fiance, Janine Nicole, versus Jess Kreisman. Forgive me if I'm wrong, you would know better than me. Jess Kreisman has never lost this ringer point before.
She has never lost one. Jess is one of my closest friends, and the whole build-up throughout this week, she's been very short with me, and I was joking with her. I'm like, girl, I'm not going to say anything to the other team. I'm so professional, but she takes her burpees and her team seriously.
Well, I mean, you got to. You have to take it seriously, and Jess Kreisman does not play. It's going to be so fun to watch. You know, Janine Nicole maybe has not been doing this as long, but she moves with the best of them.
Oh my goodness. And she comes from a middle distance background. She is very fast twitch. She's been getting so much stronger, so much faster. Both of them have their own style of burpee technique. So I'm excited. I've been having this one just circled for many reasons, but this is going to be the best of the best.
That's right. And don't forget, friends, you have until the end of this race to vote for the fan-voted ringer. You could go to unitedgridleague.com/vote to cast your vote for what you want to see later on in this match and even in the match to come. We're watching the Tampa Bay Brigade face off against the Fort Lauderdale Lions bar-facing burpees. Let's see it. Oh, a little dance, okay. All right. What if they accidentally switch scenes?
I love it.
Such great energy here on the grid.
I love this.
And they are off. Jess Kreisman versus Janine Nicole for the bar-facing burpee ringer. Of course, you have to be completely over the line, splitting the line. If you don't, that is a fall. Chest has to come all the way to the ground. Don't have to hit full extension at the top because it's not CrossFit rules. 1 rep remaining for Jess Kreisman. They're finishing at the same time.
Oh my God!
Whoa!
Yo!
They're going to put that on SportsCenter. They're going to have to review what just happened and see the timing because I am not totally sure who won that.
That's what we were looking for. That's what we were looking for. Yo. Oh my, I said the 2 best in the league going head to head. This is what we wanted to see, and they both left it out there. It was such a clean on both sides, but I think Jess Kreisman barely got Janine Nicole. That was so amazing.
I can't even be sure of that. I guess we'll find out in just a second. If anybody is ever going to put up a fight and has bragging rights against Jess Kreisman on this specific ringer point, she is the one to do it. Wow is the word.
I never seen Jess have to work so hard in my life right there. But like hands down, like that was the closest bar-facing burpee ringer I've seen right there. And it literally came to a race. But Janine had her right at the very beginning, but this actually is more reps than it was before. So not only did they had to sustain for a lot longer, so it came out to a foot race, but Jess got it just by a hair.
Wow, and I think that's the first time that Jess has had a fight quite like that before.
100%.
And it looks like the Brigade did take that ringer point race, so Jess Kreisman gets to keep her badge of honor as far as that goes.
But they are such great friends and everything. They got such great respect. And Janine was like if she wins, she's gonna win fair and square. And but at the end of the day, it's all love and respect. And you can see it with the little dance that they did at the beginning. But that's what the sport is about.
That's awesome, and we love to see it too. Well, let's go ahead and educate you on the Echo and why it echoes.
Echoes.
The Echo race is made up of 4 stations of elements that each must be completed before moving on in the race. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, but only 1 player at a time can perform reps. Substitutions may happen at any time. Once the Echo race is complete, get ready, because the same race will be repeated 45 seconds later. This race is about managing fatigue with your best players and leveraging roster depth to keep performance at a max pace through the second Echo. Remember, get ready to do it again in the Echo race.
And we are back. Taylor, what can they expect as far as the specifics here today?
All right, so men and women are going to be sharing one 53-pound kettlebell for 40 reps. The men are going to be performing squat snatches with the kettlebell. The women are just going to be performing hang snatches. Then they're going to move to 15 5-inch deficit-free standing handstand push-ups, followed by 15 med ball ring muscle-ups with a 6-pound ball. And they're going to be finishing sharing another barbell of 15 reps and 205 pounds. The men will be doing clusters, which is a clean into a thruster, and the women will be performing just cleans. They can power it or squat it.
That's right, Taylor. And this one is one to see. Both of these teams, as we've hinted at before, definitely have a lot of experience. And the communication is, I perceive, not to be their biggest problem. It's going to be their capacity here. Yeah.
It's going to come down to execution. I kind of give a little bit more of an advantage to the Lions. Their gymnastics squad, just by history, has been some of the best, if not the best, in the league consistently. And just adding in the talents of Julio Delgado and then Christian Alvarez and Janine Nicole, just like they are really stacked on the gymnastics side.
Definitely. And just in case you haven't gotten the score, it's Fort Lauderdale Lions 5 and 4 for the Tampa Bay Brigade. It's still so close. There's some give and take. The Brigade just got their first race win of the day, and there's a lot more to come.
A lot more. And we've been seeing it all day. It doesn't matter if you win a couple of races in a row. It's just you just got to stay in and make sure you're getting all your points and let it come and let the points decide for yourself.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see this communication be executed. We're starting off. Remember, it's one person working at a time here. They're doing 40 single arm kettlebell snatch for females. It's either a power or a full, but the men have to do a squat snatch.
Yeah. And so you see Rebecca Rouse over here on the Brigade side, and then you have Megan Medeiros over here on the Lions side. Both of them are so strong with this movement there. But then you're going to see, who is it, Marcos? Is that Marcos?
Marcos
yes.
Medina,
Marcos
yep.
Medina. Sorry, I get to see him on the back. It looked like Archie for a second. Marcos Medina, he is so strong and so efficient with this, pulling himself straight down. The guys do have to perform a squat with it, so you may not see as many men do it, but Marcos is so strong and smooth with this movement.
Absolutely. Rebecca Rouse, she did amazing on those kettlebells. She's just so strong. Both of the ladies on these teams are absolutely stacked. They can do a little bit of everything. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go through the rest of this. The next element is going to be 15 handstand push-ups. It's going to be free standing, and it's going to be at a deficit of 5 inches. Eric Cardona is all ready to do the work. 1 rep remaining for the Lions, and the Brigade got started just a little bit earlier. Eric Cardona has not come down a single time since he's been upside down. Angel Serrano with a slight fall from falling over, and Eric Cardona is getting ready to once again go on the rings, but Paula Lea is finishing off her reps over here.
And this is what the Lions do best. This is what the Lions do best. It's their strength is in their gymnastics side. And Paul and Eric, they are so comfortable working with each other. And their tag team is so strong. Their communication is so strong. You see Eric over here just making light work of butterfly muscle-ups with that 6-pound ball in between the legs.
Absolutely. Both of these are arguably some of the best in the league as far as the rings go, and to see them execute this so flawlessly is amazing. Paula Lea is one of the only few female athletes that can do this as well, doing amazing. One of the few female athletes who can do butterfly ring muscle-ups, period.
And she's doing it with a medicine ball in between her legs. That is such a weapon to have.
That's right. Now they're moving on to the 15 clusters for the men, and it's going to be cleans for the women, squat or power, their choice. Ryan DeMatti, Strength Specialist of the Year 2023, I believe, with Trisha Davis waiting. And the Fort Lauderdale Lions have a very healthy lead. Seth Prohaska, he is back. He actually played for the Brigade, not last season, but the season before, and he was gone for a little bit, but he's definitely a male strength specialist that they have been missing.
And I'm going to be looking out over here for Trisha Davis. She is suffering from a little bit of a hamstring strain. That's why you see her taped up or compressed right now. So you're going to see a lot of, she'll come out, do a few reps there, but the guys will be handling a lot of that load.
Absolutely, and it's going to be a Fort Lauderdale Lions win for the first Echo, but don't rest too much because the Brigade are still working. As soon as the clock stops and they cross the finish line, they are going to start a 45-second timer, and we're going to do it again. That's why it's called the Echo.
Echo.
Oh, yeah. Really nice win for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Just a few things that could have been improved from the Brigade. I think it really lost them on the deficit handstand push-ups just because, not because of necessarily what they lacked, just the insane execution of the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Yeah, the Lions were just so smooth in their end, and Angel Serrano, he did such a great job on that side, but he did have a few reps where he fell over on the side, where Eric and Paula, they were just so smooth. They stayed up, even though they were smooth, they were fast, and that just allowed them enough time to get to the rings. And when you have two people that can butterfly these muscle-ups, especially on the women's side, it's very, very hard to come back from that.
Absolutely. Well said, Taylor. And of course, you only have 45 seconds in between, so they're getting ready to do it again. The thought there is that you don't have time to strategize. Whatever went wrong, you just have to throw it off and get to the work.
So it's going to be interesting to see if the teams change up their strategies at all, if they're going to move some people around to have fresh athletes in here, or they're going to stick to the same plan because it worked before.
Absolutely. It did work before, so you know, whatever they had planned, that's what they're going to stick with, though. You don't want to get anybody too fatigued. Eric Cardona did do a lot of the gymnastics, but they have players that can do the gymnastics. So whoever they're going to send out, they're going to send out. Echo number 2, who's going to take it? Comment down below. Oh, it looks like there's a Fort Lauderdale Lions bonus flag. A bonus flag, in case you didn't know, is a flag that you can throw one time per match, and it gives you an extra point. So instead of winning and getting 2 points, you win and get 3 points. Now, that's a safe bet considering that they just won the first Echo, but it wasn't by a large margin, Taylor.
It really wasn't. It really wasn't. And honestly, I thought they were going to throw the bonus flag with something maybe like the Jack and Jill, possibly. So, but I don't know. But again, they have a strong gymnastics core, especially in that middle point. But I think they're up here just trying to prove a point right now. So let's see if they can go and execute. But the Brigade, they look pretty strong at the beginning. Let's see if they can make some adjustments.
Definitely not a lot separating them so far for the kettlebells, and it looks like they're doing pretty well in the transitions. Eric Cardona is just casually walking over to the deficit handstand push-ups. Bailey Yarbrough doing amazing on the kettlebells, as well as Ariana Durham for the Brigade. These ladies are so strong, and it looks like the Lions have a slight lead going into this.
Oh, yeah. And so you can see Eric already propped up in this position. So is Angel Serrano there. So it's gonna be the exact same thing. Who is the cleanest of the two? So Angel decided that he's just gonna do a quick set and come down and just get right back into the position, which is just as fast.
Definitely. You have to play into your skills, and you really don't want something like that to happen. So you really want to make sure that you have the balance to not fall over and cost yourself some extra precious seconds. Paula Leyes is finished up, and that's going to bring Julio Delgado over to the rings this time. So it looks like they changed their strategy just a bit.
They lost the ball.
Looks like they changed their strategy just a bit. Oh, Paula Leyes is trying to help him up to the rings. Chris Chaffee might have gotten a slight lead here while they were scrambling for the ball. This isn't the best thing that you want when you throw a bonus flag on a race like this, but it's a 6-pound ball in between your legs. It can't touch the ground. 15 of those ring muscle-ups. Both of these gentlemen were butterflying, but now they're just getting into the nitty-gritty. Chris Chaffee did the entire set the race before, so...
Yeah, Chris Chaffee was the bodyweight specialist of the year last year, and he is such a determined athlete. He's been with the Brigade for a long time, so to see him up there, he did a big set, and it is neck and neck, and it's going to come down to the barbell. Oh, my God.
Absolutely. Jess Kraisman chipping away at those, and it looks like they're starting the barbell at the exact same time. This is going to be a really close finish, maybe a little too close for comfort for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Ryan DeMatti with Trisha Davis waiting in the wings. Seth Prohaska with powerhouse Brittany Latham waiting for her turn. It's going to be cleans for the ladies and clusters for the men. They have to go as quickly as possible. We know Trisha Davis is working with an injury. She's going to be passing it to Taylor Sturgis. Hand in the air for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Hands in the air for the Tampa Bay Brigade. They're going to have to go as quickly as possible. 3 reps remaining. 2 reps remaining. 1 rep remaining for Taylor Sturgis. And it looks like the Fort Lauderdale Lions have their bonus flag, and they are going to take both echoes.
Oh, that was a little too close for comfort. Like I said, it's such a huge gamble and risk throwing that bonus flag. And like you said, the first echo, it was still close, but then they had to change it. Julio Delgado had a little slip with the ball, slipped out, but Paula did a great job of recovering it and placing it securely in Julio, which allowed him to secure it better, and they was able to bring it home. Oh my God.
It's very impressive that they were able to pull that off, considering that happened. That just shows how fast of a transition and quick thinking they're doing, because they've been on the grid for so long. That was so much fun to watch. A lot more to come. Give us just a second, and we'll be right back.
We're here on the grid with the head coach of the Tampa Bay Brigade, Tomas Pacenda. Tomas, on the offseason, social media, a little bit quiet, but you did bring back a lot of returning players, but you did sign a couple of new players. Of the new players, who do we look forward to seeing today?
Yeah, so we're super excited for all of our players. The new ones are going to be intense out there for sure. I think we're going to see some fun handstand walks, which has been a race that has troubled us in the past. We've had a couple of faults before, but keep an eye out for Nathan on that Jack and Jill. Absolutely.
You know, it's a long match. You still a lot of time left. How do you cut into the deficit right now? What are you telling the team?
It's 0-0. Whatever happened in the past happened. We had a couple of faults here and there, a couple of mishaps. Any of those races could have gone either way. It's not any fault of their own. You can only affect what you can. Don't worry about the other side. And there's still a lot of races to go, so anything can happen.
Absolutely. Best of luck, Tomas. Thank you. Back to you, Cassie.
Thanks for that, Daniel. And I'm glad that he brought up Nathan, because we haven't seen him on the grid quite yet, but I hear a lot of good things about him. I've seen him on Instagram and what he can do, and it's almost like, you know how you can't tell what's AI anymore? He gives that.
Look, and I was up there talking with a lot of the Brigade athletes, and Nathan was just passing by so casually. They're like, look, they just pointed at him, and I'm like, when you have that kind of respect, or just from vets, they know, they've seen it, so I'm very excited to see
Stuff
him.
like that just makes me so giddy, and it's so fun to watch. But I want to go ahead and educate you guys on the ladder and what you can expect. We'll be right back.
The ladder consists of 2 rows of 4 stations of a strength-based element, 1 row for males and 1 row for females. The weight increases as you move down the grid. Teams send out 1 player at a time, alternating male and female, to perform the designated lift for the match format. Each successful lift has a point value that is added to the team's ladder score. The point value is equal to the quadrant the barbell is sitting in. Players are allowed 1 lift attempt per quadrant and may skip any quadrant they choose, but are never allowed to backtrack once a barbell is passed. The team with the highest total point value at the end of the 4-minute time cap wins. This race is one of the most strategic and coach-reliant of all of the races. As a good game plan and in-the-moment decision-making, to manage time is everything. Remember, lift heavier and score higher in the ladder race.
Peachy athletic shorts, guys. Just saying. Looking peachy. And the peaches are great. They're really stretchy. They're soft.
I like the fit. I like the fabric. It makes me just feel more comfortable while I'm working out. I don't have to worry about things coming out.
Love training in these shorts. Love competing in the shorts. They stay put. Got a really nice thick waistband.
They definitely pass the squat test and the booty test. They're really comfortable. Like, I could wear them out and I could wear them on the floor.
So I still feel covered, but able to do all the movements.
Go get yourself some.
Welcome back, everybody. You're looking at the ladder, strength specialist versus strength specialist. Taylor, what can they expect here?
Yes, so you are going to be seeing the athletes go from one bar to the next, trying to accumulate as many points as they can. They have 2 deadlifts and 1 clean. So the athlete must perform 2 deadlifts and then perform either a power or a squat clean before they can move on to the next bar. The men's weight is 250, 275, 300, and ending with 325 pounds. The women's weight goes 155, 175, 195, and 215. Each athlete will gain a respective point based off of what bar that the quadrant's in. If they hit the first bar in the first quadrant, they'll get 1 point. In the fourth quadrant, they'll get 4 points. Each athlete has an opportunity of gaining 10 points for their respective team.
That's right, Taylor, and this is one to watch. Of course, the Brigade have boasted about having one of the strongest teams in the league, which arguably they do. They have just like so many strength specialists, but you don't necessarily see all of the time. But the Fort Lauderdale Lions have added some key players that can definitely get the job done. So it's really a toss-up at this point. And the most important thing is you want to finish within 10 points, because if you finish within more than 10 points, the losing team does not even get that 1 point for finishing under the cap.
And this particular ladder is very, very strategic because it's one of the longer barbell movements to perform. And so where you saw earlier, the snatches, it's so quicker, you can get through almost all the bars. This one, you may waste too much time hitting the first bar, so you're probably going to see a lot of athletes skip that first bar and go move to the second and third bar.
Definitely. We talked about that earlier. Strategies having to do with ladder, and this is one that you're definitely going to have to make the most of your time. But it looks like both of these athletes are opting to go to the first bar. It's 2 deadlifts followed by 1 clean. It's Briley Smith on the left-hand side of your screen for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and on the right, that is Rebecca Rouse.
And Rebecca, she is such a strong Olympic lifting athlete herself. So I'm looking forward to seeing her just easily make lightweight work of this ladder. And Briley Smith, he is a young kid from Missouri, but he is so strong and athletic, and he's going to have no problem clearing this ladder.
From the moment that they've signed him, he has been such an asset to the team from the very first race that he participated in. So I'm really happy that he's starting to get the attention that he deserves in this league and getting more playing time. We're looking at Lily Burkhead over here for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and Alex Hollings is already on the third barbell. It looks like the Brigade are moving slightly faster here.
And like we talked about earlier, because this is such a long movement, you want to try to get as many athletes through at the same time. So if you miss a barbell, you're wasting time for the next athlete. So you got to be confident that you can go out there and hit these bars and hit it fast.
Absolutely. I haven't seen any faults quite yet. So it looks like they're just about neck and neck, with the Brigade with a slight lead as far as how far they've gotten down the grid. We're looking at Arcangel Andrade over here for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, left hand of your screen, and that was Isa Carvalho on the right. She's going to opt out of that fourth bar. Garrison Matthews switching straight to go to the second quadrant instead of that first bar. Looks like the Fort Lauderdale Lions are still going the whole way through, though.
Yeah, and the Lions are definitely going to have to pick it up because they are wasting. Archie hit that first bar, but he's not moving that fast, so they're spending a lot of time on there. And the Brigade has already, I think they're working through an athlete, almost 2 athletes, full athletes. So it's all about how many athletes you can get through as opposed to bars you hit.
Absolutely. 2 deadlifts for Garrison Matthews, taking just a bit long. Oh, and he's going to fault out on that fourth bar. That's going to be a costly mistake when it comes down to timing. Brittany Latham is going to be coming out for the Brigade. And we're looking at Moline over here, Caroline, for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, who is a rookie. This is her ladder debut. She's going to opt out of that fourth bar, and it looks like they're just doing things that they know that they can hit. Now they're starting to go straight to the second quadrant to get the 2 points. Brittany Latham, obviously, she's going to go for that fourth bar. Ryan DeMatti, Strength Specialist of the Year 2023, as we've said.
Yeah, he's picking up the speed for the Lions over here. So hopefully they can pick up a little bit more time with getting some more athletes through. And I'm looking at that lineup. They got a strong lineup to finish up with, but the Brigade right now has the majority of their athletes through.
Absolutely. Angel Serrano over here in the third quadrant. Looks like he did every bar. Bailey Yarbrough coming through. She's going to the second quadrant from the first. And Angel is going for that fourth bar, by the way. Let's see if he can do it. The Brigade need to make up a little bit of time here. They're slightly behind, it looks like. Oh, and that's going to be a vault for the Brigade. Bailey Yarbrough also skipping that fourth bar.
So now this is going to come down to who can actually execute the most bars now. And so I would skip the first one and just get those bigger point bars because they're worth a lot more. Get more bang for your buck.
Absolutely. Ariana Durham, Olympic weightlifter. I believe she competes in the junior category, and she's one of the best in the state, if not the country. Taylor Sturgis stepping on next, and he is going to hit that fourth bar. He was quite the character last season, caused quite a bit of ruckus. He's kind of the KD of Grid, if you will. You either love him or you hate him, but you have something to say about him.
Oh, I think that last bar from Taylor was huge. I don't know if they got credit, if the Brigade got credit for that last bar. Yeah, I think this is going to really come down to if the Brigade got that last bar or not. Oh
Absolutely.
My gosh.
It's going to be, I mean, I'm waiting with bated breath to find out the results of this particular ladder, just because there was so many faults, so many skipped bars. It was hard to keep track of it. I mean, leave your guesses down below of who you think took this one. But in just a second, we're going to find out from Kendrick what the fan-voted ringer point is. You spoke, we listened, and we're going to find out what you wanted to see.
MP. Give me a countdown. And the fan-voted ringer point is in. It's going to be 8 bar facing burpees, 1 sandbag over the yoke. It's going to be 200 pounds for the men, 150 pounds for the women. It's going to be an exciting race. Thank you to all the fans for voting for this online. I'm excited to see that race.
Thank you so much for that, Kendrick. And I am excited to see it. Bar facing burpees, we're going to see that again. What are we thinking?
These fans love burpees. I guess they had so much excitement from Jess and Janine. They're like, we want to see more burpees, but this time add a sandbag.
It's gonna be so crazy. Like, I have no words for it. We're gonna actually see that after the sprint relay, but in the meantime, we're going into another ringer point. But let's go ahead and take it to Daniel at the grid. He has the ladder score. Daniel, talk to me.
We have the results of the ladder. It's going to be with a score of 58-54. The Lions are going to take this ladder race. They're starting to run away with it. The Brigade are going to have to stop the bleeding soon, or they might be over. Cassie, Taylor, back to you.
It's a good point, Daniel. I mean, this is the biggest differential that we've seen all day.
Yeah, and I said, I think Taylor's last bar really helped out. I don't think if the Brigade did that last bar, I think it would have tied them, and then the points would have been split. But it's still a lot of race left. And especially with that ringer point in there, that's an additional 2 points that are out there that wasn't out there before. So still anybody's match.
Definitely. This next one is going to be a doozy. We're going to be looking at a suicide sprint. For the Fort Lauderdale Lions, it's going to be Paula Leyes. And for the Brigade, it's going to be Dalton Herrero.
I saw this one.
So Paula has done this one quite a lot. I think she only lost 1 time.
I know, but Dalton is fast too.
Dalton is fast.
But the advantage here is that the women only have to go to the 3rd hash mark, where the men have to run past the 4th hash mark. So it does give a little bit of an advantage to the women because they have to stop shorter. But I've seen it both ways. I've seen both men beat the women and the women beat the men. At the end of the day, it's going to come off to who can hold their speed the longest. And on top of that, I've seen people mess up when they go from the last quadrant and come all the way down, think that they're done. They got to remember that they still have to finish that last long run all the way into the finish.
Definitely. Though I don't perceive that being a problem here. I mean, both of these people have been part of the league and seen this one so many times. I mean, this was even one of our videos that we used to play during commercials, Paula Lea's doing a suicide sprint. So it's anybody's, but it's up in the air right now. Quite a lead that the Lions have against the Brigade so far. And we are going to see it. We'll be right back.
Suicide sprint. Players are going to race the first quadrant, race back to start line. Go to the second quadrant, go back to start line. Third, then fourth, and a full sprint to the end. Referees, 1 minute. Referees, 1 minute.
And we're back. Just a quick shout out to all the gyms who brought people out today from all kinds of gyms. We have Team Omnia. We have, you know, Paul Moran's gym here in Davie, Florida. So many great things happening. CrossFit Conquest. So thank you all for bringing out people to support you from your gyms.
It's always good when you see to have the community here.
Absolutely. Now let's take a look at these game faces. This is going to be a crazy one. Don't blink. And they're off. Paula Leyes versus Dalton Herrero. Women have a slightly shorter distance to travel than the men. Is that right, Taylor?
Yep. And Paula right now, you can see her. She's giving everything that she has right now. But Dalton is pulling away just a little bit. It's going to come down to this very last foot race right here. So Dalton is just so fast. But Paula is keeping it in there.
Oh, Dalton Herrero might have a slight lead against Paula here. Going to the finish line, Dalton Herrero is gonna take it for the Tampa Bay Brigade.
Oh my goodness, I knew it was gonna be a tough one right there. Like, Paula is so incredibly fast, but so is Dalton. I knew when I saw it picked, I was like, they're gonna put Dalton right there. And Dalton is such an incredible athlete, such a fast and shifty athlete that he was gonna be able to make up that little stagger.
Absolutely. Wow, that was quite the race. Even though he had to travel more distance, because he is a male, he still was able to pull it off. What an amazing showcase right here that we just saw. We're going to go ahead and educate you on the next race. Don't go anywhere. Be right back.
Jack and Jill features 3 stations of high-level body weight-based elements that increase in difficulty moving down the grid. 1 male and 1 female are allowed on the grid at any given time, and only 1 player can be working at a time. The team can only move on to the next station when the previous station is complete. This race is the simplest when it comes to rules, but the most reliant on player skill and speed, as the hyper specialists often make the difference in the race. Remember, let the bodyweight ninjas fly in the Jack and Jill race.
Cook less and live more with rebuilt meals. Fresh, nutritious meals, chef-prepared and perfectly portioned to help you hit your macros. No shopping, prepping, cooking, or cleaning. No commitments and no contracts. Rebuilt Meals offers plans to satisfy any lifestyle. We offer gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free options. And the menu changes every week, so you'll never get bored. Let us do the cooking so you can do all the living. Visit rebuiltmeals.com and use promo code REBUILTREADY for 50% off your first order.
And welcome back. We're getting ready for our next race. It's going to be the Jack and Jill bodyweight specialist versus bodyweight specialist, and one of my favorite formats to watch. Taylor, what can they expect here specifically to see the bodyweight specialist fly?
All right, the bodyweight specialists in the first quadrant, they're going to be performing 10 handstand walks where they have to walk all the way down to the second quadrant and then back to the start will be considered 1 rep. And then after that, they'll perform 1 med ball handstand walk with 6 pounds where they have to walk all the way down to the third quadrant and then back to the start. And then they'll finish the length of the grid with a sled drag handstand walk where the winner will be crowned once they make it across the finish line.
Now, this is where we have to talk about Nathan 2G. I found out his last name is pronounced 2G, like when you have poor cell phone reception. That's how he explained it, 2G.
I would never forget that now, because I was
such
trying to
a good
figure
way.
out how I'm never going to forget that.
Thank you for that, Nathan. I need you to help me with like so many things to find out ways to remember them. But they said, so if you look at his Instagram, he's a monster of a handstand walker. So we're definitely going to be watching him go through this. And we're going to be watching also Eric Cardona, Paula Leyes of the Lions, who they used to call Jack and Jill.
And so we're talking about Nathan 2G. The Lions, they have a whole bunch of Nathan 2Gs.
Right.
So they also have, and I mentioned earlier, Christian Alvarez. He was one of my old athletes with the Orlando Aces, and he literally probably runs faster on his hands than many people can on their feet. And so, but seeing him paired up with Paula, Eric, and then Janine, like, I think they're running this entire race with maybe just 5 people. And then on top of that, they have Janet Durant, again, one of my old former athletes in our actual Jill. She is back into the mix of things, and she is incredible on her hands as well too. So this Lions team is going to be incredibly tough, and I thought that they were going to throw the bonus flag for this one, honestly.
Definitely. It would have been maybe, I mean, it was a safe, it ended up being a good choice for them.
It worked out.
But this is usually the Lions' bag as far as throwing a bonus flag. But they know what they're doing. You know, they're not new to this. They're true to this. So we're going to see how it works. Yeah, we're going to see how it works out exactly. We did find out about the fan voted ringer. You still have 1 ringer to vote for if you want to. You could go to unitedgridleague.com/vote and choose that last ringer that you want to see for the next match. And every time that we have a match, we're going to be doing that. So we used to have 1 ringer point, then we had 2, now we have 3. And I just keep on saying it's so fun watching people that are really good at what they do go against people who are really good with what they do.
Exactly. And again, I wasn't a fan of the ringers at first, and now I am an absolute fan. I loved it when I was doing it out there with the barbell, be able to showcase my talents there. But now having the fans be a part of it, it's the one element of grid that the coaches cannot control. And I like that whole sense of the unknown, where that you can't base it off of strategy. It's just about how deep your squad is.
Absolutely, Taylor. And speaking of you on the grid, I mean, you were the queen of those hang cleans. Like, I just remember you moving so fast. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why would she ever say that she didn't like ringer points? Like, she was always winning them. Like, isn't that fun?
I love the ringer points.
Now you do. But we're going to get ready to see the 10-foot handstand walk to second quadrant and back. It's going to be a fast one. Don't blink. It looks like we have a Tampa Bay Brigade bonus flag. That means that they're going to get 1 extra point to whoever wins. So instead of getting 2 points for winning, you will get 3. This is going to be critical for the Brigade if they want to really make a difference. Look at Nathan 2G, by the way. He is an absolute unit, anomaly, freak of nature on his hands, and they're switching out. They just made up 3 reps of this from 1 person.
He literally looked like Superman over there. I think he dove like half the grid to get over there. Wow, that was super impressive.
Wow, that was absolutely insane. And they didn't even utilize the strategy that, like, he had someone waiting for him on the other side of the grid either, which is so crazy to me. And once they finish these, it's going to be the med ball handstand walk to the third quadrant and back. He's doing all of this with a belt, by the way, which I think is an interesting choice. And his back is kind of arched. Like, this is not a normal handstand walk. He's looking forward as he's doing it, which is, I mean, I have no more words.
He is single-handedly doing this Jack and Jill by himself. I think it's just going to be called Jack.
Right.
So I think he has the belt on because he's probably going to be, yep, I see him over there strapping up. He is doing the sled drag.
Oh, there we go. That explains the belt here. Dalton Herrero on his hands, and over here for the Lions, it's Janine Nicole upside down, Julio Delgado meeting her at the other end. Paula Lea's getting ready to tag in for that, and it looks like the Brigade are running away with it. They have the med ball in between the legs. They made it to the third quadrant, and they have to make it back to the start line. Everybody is standing on their feet watching this. This is not a normal thing that you see at a sports event. It is even better. Nathan Tuji is with the sled drag handstand walk the length of the grid. All he has to do is not drop until he gets to the finish line, and it is a Brigade win. Brigade bonus flag win, which they really needed. Eric Cardona very close behind. The only thing that could stop the Brigade is a fault. And it looks like the Brigade are going to take the Jack and Jill.
Whoa! Announce yourself, Nathan Tuji.
Wow, what a showing on the grid for this rookie, but it looks like something has been dropped, Taylor, and it's not just my jaw. It is a challenge flag.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, something must have happened over here on the Lions side. Well, first and foremost, Nathan Tuji, he could have ran that by himself. But something must have happened over here because the Lions got a little bit further behind than what I was expecting over there. So something may have been called a fault or something, but Coach Paul challenged it. So let's see if it's going to be overturned, if they have to do a rerun.
Yeah, it has to definitively affect the outcome of the race, and if it's something that wouldn't have changed the outcome, they will not rerun it. But we're going to get to Daniel in just a second, and he's going to give us the skinny on what to expect. I want you guys to not go anywhere so we can educate you.
Looks like the Lions are challenging the ruling on the grid. They're questioning the reps done on the handstand walks. So we're going to review it and get back to you as soon as we have a ruling. Cassie?
Thanks for that, Daniel. We're going to get back to you guys with a ruling. In the meantime, there's still plenty of match to go with the Fort Lauderdale Lions with a decent lead here. So that bonus flag is worth extra points. You got to do what you got to do to make sure that everything is counting correctly.
Yeah, and even more so, we've been saying it all day, that point differential is going to be huge, even more of importance, and also how fast you finish the races as well, too. Because since there are 10 teams now, they are taking 3 teams into the playoffs, where the number 1 team, they get a bye, and then and places 2 and 3 will duke it out to see who will be going up against the next in the championship.
Absolutely. We're getting ready for the female triad. That's going to be the next race, but I don't want to quite educate you quite yet until we figure out what's happening here. I don't want to leave you in suspense, but I have nothing for you. Don't go anywhere, and let us bring some information to you.
Was a Lions error, not a referee error. They will lose their challenge.
Jack and Jill's the finding.
Viewing the footage, it looks like the referee's count was right. He signaled that they were done with the amount of reps required, but the Lions continued to do reps, resulting in the Lions losing the challenge and the Brigade picking up the race win and much needed bonus points. Cassie Taylor, back to you.
I gotta say, even if it was a referee error, it was kind of taken away from them a little bit, just quite there at the end. Eric Cardona went fast, but it was, you know, you gotta pay attention and you gotta listen.
This one like shoulda, coulda, woulda, because that right there could have made a difference and made it into a foot race. Maybe a hand race at the end, but Mr. 2G himself, I'm going to call him that, he pretty much ran away with that by himself. So if they would have just stopped when they did stop, we could have probably seen, I don't know if it would have changed the outcome, but at least would have gotten them a little bit closer to being competitive and putting the pressure on them.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and educate you about the next race. We're looking at the Triad. Be right back.
All right, we're back on the grid. As you know, the fans had a chance to vote. They made their voice heard. They want to see the 8 bar facing burpees in the sandbag over the yoke. The question is, who for each of the teams is going to be completing that movement? For the Brigade, they're going to send out Garrison Matthews. They're putting it squarely on his shoulders to continue to chip away at this deficit, but the Lions are going to send out proven vet Ryan DeMatti. So anything could happen. Stick around for that fan-voted ringer coming up after this race. Cassie Taylor, throw it back to you.
The Triad is the only race in which there is a male and a female version performed separately. It consists of 5 elements, each with 3 stations that must be completed individually. 3 players can be on the grid at any given time. All players can perform at any station and in any order. But all of the designated reps must be performed at each station. All 3 stations of each element must be complete before the team can move on to the next element. The Triad is all about player conditioning and managing fatigue across the team. The best strategy ensures players have enough left in the tank for the last element and has backup plans for when things inevitably go wrong. Remember, try to catch your breath in the Triad race.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's go ahead and see what we can expect for this Triad.
All right, for this Triad, you're going to have 3 women working away at each station. In the first station, they have 16 double kettlebell hang, clean and jerk with 35 pounds. Then they're going to move on to 8 bar muscle-ups, followed by 2 legless rope climbs, climbing to a 12-foot target. Then it's going to be followed by 8 shoulder overhead at 115 pounds. And they're going to be finishing with a brutal 16 deck to squat box jump over at 24 inches.
It's gonna be a good one. Don't go anywhere. Let's teach you a little bit something about community. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back, everybody. We did see the strength specialist go head-to-head. We saw the bodyweight specialist go head-to-head. And now it's time to see the females on either side go head-to-head.
Oh, this Triad, it hurts. It hurts big time. Like, all the Triads hurt, but this one really hurt. Well, especially for the utility athletes. And if you look at the very end, they have the 16 deck to squat box jump overs. I'm going to be looking at the middle portion where the gymnastics, where it goes from the bar muscle up straight into the rope climbs, and see who has the grip to hold on.
Absolutely. This one is going to be interesting. There's a few wild cards in here that we don't know necessarily how it's going to go. Strong utility on both sides. Let's go ahead and watch.
Stand by. Race.
Let's go from right to left. Durham, Hollings, Oxenford for the Brigade, and for the Lions, Burkhead, Medeiros, and Durant for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Yeah, so this is going to be a good triad for all of them. So I see both teams. They got some fresh athletes over there. I see Kayla Hollins that came in on the Brigade side. And, of course, Janet just came in for the Lions after doing the Jack and Jill. And Lily came in during the ladder. So it's good to have some fresh and strong athletes come in for the triad.
Absolutely. Paula Leia's getting ready at the bar, and she started her reps first. Not someone that you want to see on the other side of the grid from you when you're doing something like this, but all of these ladies are making very light of these bar muscle-ups. Both sides look absolutely so smooth.
Yeah, I'm up here looking at the lines for one moment. I thought they were all doing synchro bar muscle-ups at one time. They were all going at the same time, but they're looking strong. It looked very even between both teams.
Absolutely. Paula Leia's first to the top of that rope. Everybody else working on them. We're looking at legless rope climbs. It's 2 of them to 12 feet, and it's indicated by that white tape. They have to touch the tape or above it, but they need to make contact. If they don't, it is considered a fault. Paula Leia's finishing up the reps there, and she's going to be tagging in Janine Nicole, Burkhead Maderos. Nicole working over here on the Lion side, and for the Brigade, Crazeman, Rouse, and Hollings. All of these ladies making like really smooth transitions we've seen from both of these teams, and that's something that I'm really happy about just as far as the flow goes. You know, it kind of irritates you when they're not necessarily gelling and doing what they're supposed to be doing.
I'm looking at the Lions right now. They have more girls working on the boxes before the Brigade. So it was just working on the box before any of her other athletes were able to hop on board. And the Lions had 2. So let's see. You can only cross the finish line when all the stations have finished. So Jess is probably going to finish first, but she's probably going to have to help out her teammates.
Absolutely. It's a deck to squat, so chest to the ground, squat on top of the box, and get down on the ground. This one definitely hurts. You could get fatigued really fast, especially with all the work that was done. Few fingers left in the air for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Looks like they have a slight lead here. And the Fort Lauderdale Lions are going to take the female triad.
Wow, this was a nail biter. It came down to the rope climbs. I said it at the beginning that I was going to look at the transition between the bar muscle-ups going into the legless rope climb, especially for the women. Like that, it's a lot of grip, a lot of bicep work and fatigue. And the Lions, they communicated a little bit better when it came down to Janet. She was struggling a little bit on the first one, but they communicated. Paula shifted over, helped out Janet on the last one, which allowed them to move forward and finish a lot faster.
Absolutely. It was so fun to watch. Really good communication, as I said earlier. Both of these teams just know what to do. It's just a matter of executing it. So that's always fun to watch. I'm going to give you guys just a second. Our friend Daniel is going to be on the grid with some people. But in the meantime, we'll be right back.
We are here on the grid with the Lions, Janine Nicole, maybe? What do we know? We had some fireworks before the match. What happened?
I got engaged, y'all. So now it is Stallings. Janine Stallings is what I will go by from here on out.
Has a great ring to it. So
yes.
You guys are up. What are you telling the team to get them motivated and get them finishing strong so you pick up a victory today?
Oh, it's in us, right? It's in the pride. So we just keep telling each other, just back at 0 each and every race, just to stay smooth, stay clean, and let that speed just take over because we got it in us.
That's it. Very simple.
Yes.
Janine, congratulations and best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cassie, Taylor, back to you.
Taylor. So much fun, and I knew about it, and I kept this secret, and it was so cool. Do you want to tell the story of how you did it?
Oh man, so Janine has been talking about wanting to change her last name to Stallings. And I told her, like, you just can't change it until it's official. So she approved Nicole, but I've been working with the lead to put Stallings on the back. So she came into the back, and I was able to bring out her jersey. And she didn't even know at first. I had the jersey in my hand in the box. She just saw the camera. She was posing. I'm like, I'm just standing here with Stallings on the back in the box in my hand. And she didn't even realize. They were like, look down, girl. So it took a minute, but it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. It was so fun to watch, too. We just love here, and I love that the community got to be a part of it as well and witness it.
It's just, since we started dating, she was on the sidelines during our playoffs, and now she's in the league, and now retired. So it's been awesome to watch her just take over a sport. We just both love the sport so much. So it felt right to do it here on the grid.
We love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for that, Luberson and Alex Smith of the Venom. Now let's see what we can expect in this male triad.
All right, for the men, they are going to be performing 16 double kettlebell hang clean and jerk at 53 pounds, followed by 8 bar muscle up straight into 2 legless rope climbs. They will be climbing to 15 feet. Then they'll be moving to 8 shoulder to overhead with 185 pounds, and then finishing with 16 deck to squat box jump overs at a height of 30 inches.
That's right, Taylor. So same thing, just a little bit heavier, just a little bit harder for the men. And this one is one to watch. The Brigade really need a win here for them to be in contention.
Yeah, the Brigade is known to like pushing the pace, and they are very gritty and scrappy. So this one's going to be a sprint all the way to the end.
Absolutely. Now we're going to see how the men fare against each other from right to left. Angel Serrano, Alex Hollings, Christopher Chaffee, Taylor Sturgis, Briley Smith, and Julio Delgado. Now, all of these men, veterans, very strong, know what to do. We've seen how the females fare against each other. Now, how do the men fare against each other here?
And I'm going to be paying attention to Taylor Sturgis. Taylor, last year he wanted the smoke. He got the smoke. But then I saw him yesterday. And I was like, sir, you're looking a little lean. He said that Coach Alex told him that he didn't want him to get as strong as he could get. He needed him lean and mobile, and he took that to heart. So, and where you probably won't be hearing too much of his voice, but he's proven that he's going to show it more so on the floor what he can do.
Are we not going to hear his voice too much anymore? I kind of like the voice.
We're probably still hear him. He's Taylor. He's
Taylor.
Still Taylor.
He's Taylor.
But I know he definitely want to prove himself more as an athlete, definitely.
I love that so much. Yeah, that's great for him and a great addition to the team as well. Christian Diaz Alvarez, first one on the rope, knowing exactly where to go. This time the men are going to go all the way up until they touch the metal bar at the top of the rig. Eric Cardona, Christian Alvarez Diaz, and Julio Delgado for the Lions, Dalton Herrero, Angel Serrano, and Garrison Matthews for the men. Of course, these are legless rope climbs, so they're very hard to do, especially after all of those kettlebells.
Oh, man, I was up here watching Christian Alvarez Diaz over here, and he hit the top, but he came all the way down halfway. He looked down to check with his judge to make sure he hit it, and then once she confirmed, then he came down. So he's come a long way, so it's good to see him being able to communicate that. And the Lions, they are working on that last box that last element, it's going to be very hard for the Brigade to come back unless something drastic happens. But anything can happen.
Absolutely. It's a 3-point deficit so far, so it's still anybody's game, but the Brigade definitely have some ground to make up. Fewer reps left for the Fort Lauderdale Lions here, a little bit of a healthy lead, but it still could be anybody's here as they jump over this box, which this box, by the way, 30 inches, deck to squat. Once again, chest touching the ground, squat, jumping over the box.
I'm looking at my boy over here, Chris Chaffee. Like, that box is literally half his height, and he is just making it look easy over there. But represent for the shorties.
Absolutely. What a powerhouse athlete. Of course, bodyweight specialist of the season last season. So very strong. Hands in the airs, and Lions with the casual stride into the finish line.
That was definitely much, much needed because if the Brigade had won, that would definitely be a different story. This makes their lead just a little bit more comfortable, but we still have that fan ringer point at the end, and we saw in the very first match with the Bandits, or was it the Bandits? Or was it the Palms?
With the Palms,
with the Bandits and Palms, where it did come down to a 0 in that fan vote that opened up the door for the Bandits to come back and win it all.
It was such a fun one. It was so fun to watch, and I'm sure this one is going to be as well. We're going to get you that fan-voted ringer point in just a minute. I don't want you to go anywhere. We'll be back.
Bringing out this heavy yoke. This is what the fans voted for. 8 bar facing burpees for the fan voted ringer points. Then 1 sandbag over the yoke. That sandbag, 200 pounds. Player's gonna have to finish 8 burpees, run up to the yoke, pick up 200 pounds, heave it over the yoke, and race into the finish line. Agility and power is what this ringer point is all about.
Welcome back, everybody. We're getting ready for this ringer point race. This is the one that you guys wanted to see. Let me update you on what's happening. Fort Lauderdale Lions have 18 points. Tampa Bay Brigade have 14 points. So basically, the Brigade really need this win to stay in this match.
Yeah, and this one is exciting. I guess y'all really wanted to see more burpees, but this time you're going to have the thick boys do it. So you're going to have Ryan DeMatti. He is, of course, a former strength specialist of the year, or no, MVP, excuse me, MVP, but he has extremely fast burpees, so this makes sense for him. But also Garrison, he's on the lighter side, so his burpees are going to be fast as well too, but Garrison is pretty strong as well. So this is going to be a very fun ringer point to watch.
Absolutely. Garrison might be a little bit faster on the burpees, but what's really going to make that difference is how can he handle that yoke. And both of these men are strong, but, you know, Ryan DeMatti has proven himself against that time and time again. Maybe not so much as Garrison having the experience to have done that.
And Ryan is a ringer killer. So I think this is going to be a fun one. It's going to come down to that Sandman who can get it up and over fast.
Oh, that could be a fun new nickname, the Ringer Killer. Let's see how it goes here. And they're off. Bar-facing burpees. It's going to be 8 of them before they get to that yoke. They're going to have to go as fast as possible. Maybe I spoke too soon because Ryan DeMatti is very fast on these burpees. 1 rep remaining for Ryan, and he is over to the yoke. Getting it over, it's hard, it's a heavy one, and Ryan DeMatti is going to take this ringer point race.
Like I said, he a big boy, but he is very agile. I see him do burpee box jump overs over 36 inch and make it look light on his feet. So I see him do regular burpees, so I knew that this was going to be not a cakewalk for him, but it's going to be a good ringer for him.
He is a athlete, you know, so he's just one of those guys that can do it all, and it's so fun to watch. Again, they come in all shapes and sizes, but for you to be that big and move like that, it's just very impressive.
And shout out to Garrison. Again, Garrison, he doesn't get the praise that he deserves. He
Absolutely.
is very, very versatile. He's strong, but he can do the rope climbs. He's fast. And for him to pick up that 200-pound bag and to bring it up there, that's tough. But he still was able to be very competitive. I think he was within a 20% range.
I agree. I definitely think he was within that 20% range, and it is going to be interesting to see how the points spread out for the rest of the match. Garrison Matthews, of course, a very talented specialist, and he's just really good at what he does, and he's very consistent. He does a lot of work, and that's something to be considered as well.
He is arguably up there with one of the most versatile utility athletes in the league, but he doesn't, again, get the shine that a lot of these other athletes do.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and take it to my friend Daniel on the grid. Daniel, who are you with?
We're here with the Lions, Taylor Sturgis. Taylor, last season we had a tradition. Right before sprint relay, you would have some words of wisdom. You had a chance to talk in the huddle right there as you guys are closing this thing out. What are those words for us?
The Lions are here, man. The Lions are ready to win a championship. I'm calling that early.
All right, you're calling it early. After what you've seen today, what do you got to clean up? What do you got to get better at to make that a dream?
Man, we don't even have our full team here yet. We still got a girl from France coming, Alexia. So once we get a full roster, man, I think everything's just going to look a lot cleaner, a lot sharper. Made a few mistakes, but we picked up and we won where we needed to.
Absolutely. Good showing here in week 1. Congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Go Lions, baby.
Cassie, Taylor, back to you.
Always fun to hear from Taylor Sturgis.
I spoke too soon. but he still calmed it down. He's very confident. But look, if you can't be confident in your team, then what can you be?
Let him be himself.
Look, I'm so happy that he's in this league. He's so talented, but he is a hard worker. That's one thing you can't say about Taylor. He is, whatever you say that he can't do, if he takes an L, he'll take it, but I bet you he will go out there and work on it.
100%, and there is still 1 race left to be run. Let's go ahead and find out about the sprint relay.
The sprint relay is the final race of every match and is worth an extra point for the race win. It is a relay race with 1 player allowed on the grid at a time and 8 elements to perform. Any player can perform on any element, and substitutions can happen at any time, except when a player performs the last rep of an element. In that case, the player must run back to the start line, perform a 4-point touch behind the start line, and sprint through to the finish line, permanently leaving the race. The next player may enter once the previous one has crossed the finish line. The only exception is the distance element that ends at the finish line with no sprint back required. The catch is 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements. The sprint relay is a great balance of strategy to decide which players in what order are the best combination, along with clean and well-executed elements by the players to lead to the best race outcome for the team. Remember, 4 men and 4 women must finish the 8 elements in the sprint relay.
All right, so for the sprint relay, we have 12 double dumbbell burpee over a 24-inch box with 50 pounds in each hand, and that will move into 8 ring muscle-ups, followed by 12 single dumbbell pistol thrusters with 35 pounds, then 1 medicine ball handstand wall with 6 pounds. It would just go the length of the grid. That will be followed by 4 triple touches, which is a total bar, chest to bar, into a bar muscle-up, followed by 8 deck to squat over a 30-inch box, and then 12 wall balls to a 10-foot target with 30 pounds, and then they'll be finishing with a light 4 reps and overhead squats with 225 pounds.
That's right, Taylor. The sprint relay is going to be an interesting one. Something to note, the score is currently 20 for the Lions and 15 for the Tampa Bay Brigade. Both of the bonus flags were already thrown, so unfortunately it's over for the Brigade, but the Lions do take the win today, but you still want to get those points. Do you want to explain the points for the end of the season?
The point differential is very huge and important because we have 10 teams this year. The league is taking 3 teams per conference. So they're going to be looking at the point differential score, but also looking at the fastest times as well, too. So even if you know you lost, you still want to make sure that that point differential is as low as possible, because you could be on that border of the top 2-3 teams there to get you over for another shot.
Definitely, and you got to close that gap as much as possible. The sprint relay, of course, is worth 3 points instead of the regular 2 if you win, but you still get that 1 point if you finish within the cap. So everything you have is really got to put it out here for the sprint relay.
Exactly, and this is great for both teams. So if the Brigade wins this, even though they lost the match, technically it still looks good as far as the point differential. But if the Lions win this, then this makes their point differential look that much greater to get the bye at the end.
Definitely. It's going to be a 5-minute sprint relay, starting with the 12 dumbbell burpee over box, 50 pounds over a 24-inch box. Dalton Herrero is opting to jump over the box, but he could step if he wanted to. It looks like they're going about the same speed, even with the little jump over. Sometimes it's not necessarily the fastest, but maybe he's just more comfortable with the hops. He's one of those people that flies.
You saw the Sharks kind of put their whole little trademark on it with dumbbell box jumps on it. So a lot of athletes across the league has been doing that. I don't know if the verdict's still out if it's faster or not, but for this, it's working for the Brigade, so we'll see at the end.
Definitely. 4 males and 4 females have to cross the finish line, so that's why they are going over with the last rep, letting the female do it. Megan Medeiros is going to make it over her box at first. Jess Cravesman close behind. It's still anybody able to complete the rest of the elements. Eric Cardona is going to start with Chris Chaffee on the other side. Eric Cardona with a slight lead here. For a second, they were almost synchronized. But they are going very fast. It's not too much of a differential. Such control that Eric has that he's able to not swing even when he's almost about to swing, and just kind of control the rings and put them where he wants to go. It's so interesting to see. Chris Chaffee is going to cross the finish line, and that's going to bring out Rebecca Rouse for the dumbbell. And Taylor Sturgis is already reps into the dumbbell here.
And this is where the Lions lost it last year with in their championship. So they made a little adjustment to the roster, but Taylor has actually great single leg balance and strength. Even though he's the longer athlete, his balance is so strong and critical. So he made smooth work of those pistol thrusters.
He definitely did, and he definitely closed that differential just a bit. Rebecca Rouse struggling a little bit as she had a little bit of a fault on one of hers. So she's going to have to make sure she lifts up her heels to get through. Alvarez Diaz almost at the end of the grid with the medicine ball in between his legs. That's a 6-pound medicine ball. It's hard enough to just get over upside down with the medicine ball in between your legs, let alone to walk the length of a grid, which is roughly the same size of a basketball court. Paula Leas over here already starting for the Lions. Nathan Tucci making up some time for his team.
But it's already until like when you already have Paula on the rig there, she has perfect reps, as he likes to say, but they are pretty close to perfect, so it's very hard to catch up with her.
Absolutely. Marissa Oxenford is no rookie, though, and she made light of those triple touches. Janine Nicole over here on the bar. Lions with a very healthy lead. They just have to maintain it and hit those reps as clean as possible.
Yeah, so you see Janine Nicole, that box is literally half her height as well, too, but she is doing a good job, very bouncing and very fluid and landing up and make sure light work of those box jump overs.
Definitely Garrison Matthews over here on the red side of your grid on your right. He is doing as fast as he can. Again, we've seen him do so much work today. It's impressive how he's able to maintain. Lily Burkhead is going to be over here for the wall balls. Those wall balls are at 30 pounds, no matter what your gender is, to a 10-foot target.
And in the sprint relay, it's a rule that you have to have 4 men and 4 women cross. So that's why you're seeing a variety of different athletes in different places. So it's good to have a strong woman that can take care of that wall ball weight at 30 pounds, which is very, very good to have in your back pocket.
Definitely Kayla Hollings finishing up the last few of her reps, sprinting as quickly as she can to get out of there. 4 overhead squats at 225 for Briley Smith. Briley is one of those shorter limbed athletes that's able to just get down really low, really fast. So he made light of that and went as low as he can. Alex Hollings struggling a little bit, but it doesn't matter because the Fort Lauderdale Lions are going to take this sprint relay and they're going to take this match.
This was a fun one to watch all the way through, and then you see Alex Hollings, he finished it. They will still get credit for that 1 point there, but the Brigade, they showed a fight. They took both ringers. They showed life all the way until, unfortunately, that last fan ringer point, but it was too close to in that deficit to the Lions.
Absolutely. 2 playoff teams from last season coming in with different mentalities, with different players, and to see them gel so well with each other and go head-to-head like this in such a competitive match was so fun to watch. Do you have any closing thoughts on these 2 teams?
Man, I can't wait for the playoffs because I have a feeling it's not going to be the last we see of them. But honestly, looking at the other teams, I just don't know what is going to happen at the end. So I'm just excited that Grid is back.
Oh, definitely. I definitely relate to you there, and it's going to be fun to watch. Thank you so much for joining us today to watch the Tampa Bay Brigade face off against the home team, the Fort Lauderdale Lions. I'm Cassie Martinez.
And I'm Taylor Stones.
Until next time.